Thanks everyone for spending some time here to look at some opportunities that every business owner can make. Very simple things, things that are free, which are obviously the best at these times. I'm here willing to help out any way I can for the local businesses. I've been a Carlsbad, I grew up in Carlsbad and have been an Oceanside resident for 15 years. So I'm a local guy, been in this area for a lot of years. We won't go into that right now. But just have seen a lot of ups and downs, and right now I think we band together and help each other, and that's why I'm here, is really to help out with a couple little tools that can really help your business be seen online for just basically your time. And a little bit of background about myself is I am a marketing specialist. I work with big pharmaceutical companies, medical device, and construction. It's a wide range. Big companies, small companies, but all have the common theme of marketing, getting their name out. And some companies have money to do that, and some don't. So there are a lot of ways that we can do this very economically, and I want to show you one of those today. And we're all here for the Google My Business. And what we're going to do is do a couple of high-level reviews of a couple of sites, a couple of Google environments, and then we're going to jump in and really log into one of my clients and do a post and do a little bit of internal anatomy on what you can do and what's easy to be done within the profile. And let's just jump in and get started. One of the things that we're going to do here is it's optimizing your existing profile. So we're assuming that you have a profile already. If you don't have a profile, that's okay. You can follow along and make some notes on what you'd like to do. And if you have trouble with creating one, let Emerald or myself know, and then we'll reach out and we'll definitely help you set that up and get that going. Just so you know, there's a couple of tips and tricks to setting up your profile. It's that, one, you'll need a Google account, but you can use your business name to do that, your business domain name. Let's say, like for myself, Richard at Think Marketing Results. I can use that as a Google account. There are a couple ways to do that. And also using your passwords and your phone number to do a password reset if you ever have to. And that's one of the biggest deterrence with this, is that some people forget or put a different email in there and forget the password. So if you do your normal email for your business, you'll be able to do that with your phone number and get passwords. So let's go ahead and just jump in, and everyone can see my screen, correct? Yes, just thumbs up. Okay, perfect. All right. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to search for Stuart Wilkie. Now, he is a physician here in Oceanside and happens to be one of my clients. And he's a new physician. He's only been in practice in Oceanside for since pre-COVID, January essentially is when he started. So we generated a Google My Business page as well as his website and all these other things, but we're focusing on this. But one thing that you might want to notice is that when you're searching for a business, if it's Escondido Accounting or a specific name of a person, and you don't know, like for this is a physician, right? You don't know he's an MD, but you don't know if it's a DO, MPH, all of that. What we've been able to do is SEO his name to the point where he comes up when you type in just his name. So there are some things that we can do, and Google My Business has really been helping with that too, because we've been able to keyword and find out what searches people are searching for to optimize his listing. So as we look at this, most of you know that there's going to be this Google box on the right hand side. That's a Google My Business information. All of this information here is editable, from your photos, your location, reviews. That's a big part of this entire piece, and we'll go into that once we get inside. What he does, what kind of business he's in, location, all of these things, standard stuff, right? Right here, they also have this new box, which is the COVID updates. So if you have altered hours or you're temporarily closed, you can put that information in. But also when you know you're going to be back open, go back in and change it. Okay, we'll get into that as well. There's an appointment section in here. Here are some sections here where you can suggest an edit, but you have to be, obviously logged in as a Google member to leave an edit. Say, oh, I think he does have wheelchair access and he doesn't have it on his site. You can suggest that here, and it'll go through the Google process to see if that's a valid question or response, and then they will send it off to the owner, right, of the page. And then it shows reviews and then about. So let's go ahead and look at a couple more. You can see here that he has 9 Google reviews, which is great. They're 5-star. And as you click on this, you can kind of see what the reviews are and how recent they are. And one of the keys is, as a consumer looking for a physician or an accountant or something, you want to look at the reviews, but how long ago they were. These are things that just, I put the consumer hat on and go, oh, okay, well, that's great. They have, 4.5 stars or 5 stars, but the reviews are 3 years old. So still kind of concerning. So that's why we want to make sure that this is updated on a regular basis. Let's look at another one. This is Silver Linings Transitions. You can see that their SEO is doing pretty well. They have a lot of team pictures in here. They want to focus on that, and they are a senior move management company. So it's all about people. It's all about relationship, right? So these are, the pictures are loaded of their team members and helping other people. You can click through and see that. As you can see, it has a standard information. They have 7 Google reviews, 5 stars. They're based in Carlsbad, all these standard items, and we'll jump in and see that. So one more that I wanted to look at, and then what we're going to do is jump in right now after this. So Diane Hagen Accounting is another one, and she is relatively new. She has a few older reviews. She's at a 4-star, and we're looking at creating a plan to generate more reviews. So every time there's a new client, there's a new service, she asks for them. Say, hey, would you mind reviewing me? And there's a mechanism to do that within Google My Business. All right, so let's go ahead and just jump in. So we're going to jump in. If you don't know the domain name, you can just click on Google My Business, click on that, do a quick search, we jump in, and we are going to log in. Here we go. And you'll see I have many personalities here, but we'll jump into the one that manages all of our accounts. All right. Okay. So as you'll see, I manage a few accounts, but that's going to jump into Diane's and show essentially all of the tools behind the scenes here. So when you're signed in, this will be the first thing that you see. Now, there is an app for this, and it works on Android and iPhone, and it is probably the best tool for Google My Business. This is great where you can cut and paste from different things, different locations, but you can actually take pictures of your location right from the app and submit them right in there into your profile. Ease of use is key, right? Because the easier that you can use the device and respond to reviews all from one location, that's going to be key. So I would highly suggest that once you set up the account, or if you don't have the app already, go ahead and grab the app, download it, log in, and then you can see all of the changes that you can make. And it's so easy to do it on the phone, on the go, right? And it's really good for products. If you have products on the shelf that you're really trying to push, you can create a product right there, but we'll get into that shortly. Okay, so here's the environment. Google now has added this little view plan, and the view plan basically steps you through kind of a generic hierarchy to make sure that you have your logo, your description, hours of operation, and services and geographic area that you're servicing, right? And you can click on that and then I'll go through that. But I want to go through some of the key things here on the homepage that you're going to be looking at, every time you log in. Here we have is a COVID section. Now this is obviously new the last few months, and this is where you can update your hours. Now you can update these hours for this duration of time, right? Because we know it's a temporary thing. So these hours can be shortened or by appointment only, those types of things. So as you set your hours, let's say you're currently open 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. You can set this to be altered by appointment only, or I'm only open between 10 and 12 every other day. So you can set these hours, which will not affect the current setup that you have on a Monday through Friday. This is in addition, it kind of overwrites it for a short period of time. Okay. On the right hand side, you'll see that they have a little box here where it has your latest post. This was the post that was created, just prior to you logging in. It shows you how many views you've had and how many clicks you've had, right? This is a newer profile, so we're getting some traction and making sure that the SEO is driving traffic here. But you can see it's a little snapshot here of what was been done. The performance is one of the key things that on the app, it's even easier to view and understand. This gives you a snapshot of the views, searches, activity for your Google My Business profile, which is crucial to understanding where your customers are coming from and where you want to market to. Also, what they're going to be searching for. Because if you come up with in 101 searches, that's pretty good. How do we get it to 200 searches? And I'll show you that when we get into the insights, which is an analytic portion of the system. Over here on the right, you'll see the reviews. You'll see we have one-star review, and you have, a few 5 stars, which is great and not so good. Okay, we'll go into the detail on the left-hand side, which has all the toggles for each one of these sections, but this gives you a snapshot of what's happening. If you have one of these 1 stars, you definitely want to respond, find out why, and maybe you can alter the person's experience in your shop or your location by just doing one-on-one. Maybe they just wanted to talk to you or forgot to talk to you about something that was bugging them. And then you can ask them to change it. And for the most part, it's about 75% of the time, you make them happy, they'll change it to at least a 4. So that's going to bring your percentage up. One also key note is on the 5s. It's great to have 5s. You can have 100 5s in there, but you should respond back to them. Make them feel loved even one more time, right? They loved your experience, they loved your staff, they loved your service. Say thank you, and not a canned response. Each customer had a specific service or need, or them by name, didn't know their family. Just put a little note in there. Love seeing you and your son. It was great to see you and interact with you. Something as generic as that, because it is public. So just be careful of that. But it also is good to have a little response to these customers that actually are returning, right? Pending edits. Now, just a note on the edits. Through the COVID issue that we've been having, Google is taking a little bit longer. They say 3 days here. It's taken probably about 6 days for them to do major reviews. So if you change your profile name, if you change certain descriptions or even geographic areas, they go into review. Now, they've been, in the past, it's been a day or 2. They say 3 days now, it's pushed out a little bit. But just rest assured, you can go in every few days and just check it, or just do a quick Google search and see that the items that you have changed. But they're getting to it as quickly as they can. So you have to give them a little bit of time as well during this pandemic. We'll go through a couple of these little things here as well. Google, viewing your business on Google Maps, as well in search, which I just showed you what the search looked like. And then share your business profile, and we'll get to that too. This is key, and I'll have links to this at the end. But this is one of those elusive links that when you start searching around trying to find what is my Google My Business link, this is it. And I'll have a note for you guys at the end on where to find it. This here is based on what your short name is, and I'll show you that. Okay. This is a nice little piece here on the right where it says businesses like yours are posting. So this is essentially your competitor, right? What they're trying to do is look at how many click-throughs and how many views are in the same business division that you are in, and they're looking at these types of things. Some of them are relevant, some are not. This is actually a bank center, but they're giving you examples of what can be done, right? And you can also put video in this, which has higher engagement rate. Here's a form right here, right in the system, that you can share this link, and it will send out. Let's just do. I'll show you that in another window. Is that the this link you can send out to anyone and say, would you like to review me? And this link will come up your Google My Business page with a pop-up to have you review them. So this is a key to being proactive with reviews after you have a service or have a customer come in for service or products. Not sure why. There we go. Not sure why that's taking so long. So there you go. So for instance, if I had received this, it would send me this link here to rate my experience here. You have to be logged in and all of that. So that's one of those key things that has to happen. But it's a great way to be proactive with it and just have a suggestive ask. All right, and then we get into insights. Insights will give you basically where everyone's coming from, and we're going to jump into this. And I want to actually go through a couple of steps first, but this is a high overview of just the info page, which is the main home page as you log in. And on the app is very easy, 4 little buttons, and the whole screen comes up and shows you each one of these and very quickly. And on the phone, the insights give you little graphs, so it's very easy to understand where they came from. But let's go through that. So that's the home page. Do we have any questions on just the general overview of where all these pieces are and what's available to us? No questions? Okay. That's great. All right, let's keep going. All right, so let's jump into posts. Posts are pretty straightforward, just like a normal social media platform. We have posts. So this is going to show you the last post. So you can look at this, and you can see that we have 9 views, 1 click. We can share it, and we can actually go in and edit it and view it on search. So if you want to go ahead and click on that, view it on search, and it'll show you the ad within the website search, or the SERP, which is the Google search engine page. So there you go. There's the last post that was created for this, and the learn more obviously clicks over to the blog page on the website, which drives traffic there to book an appointment. That's the idea there. So what we're going to do now is kind of do this overview. So we have this COVID-19 update. Here is the information that you want to just go ahead and add. There's an optional button here if you do have a page that you have more detailed information about the COVID precautions that you're taking, as well as hours or special instructions. Maybe they're just drive-through only, or somebody has to come out to provide service to them outside. So you can plug that in, and that goes up. This goes up actually immediately. The other posts have to be reviewed just to make sure they're not kind of spammy kind of text. Another type of post that you can create is an offer. Now, if you have an offer, maybe it's $149 for a particular product, which is on sale from a normal $250 process or retail rate, right? You can show photo, offer title, and the time, right? Example, it's 20% off, view details, click here, and then you can put on coupon codes, link to the offer. There's a lot of things that you can do within the offer itself, which will help drive traffic to your page, to your landing page, a particular page on your website. These are very key pieces of information, and we can get into that on how to drive traffic to landing pages and make sure you have CTAs, and that's another step. But to be at least drive traffic to a particular page that has the same valued information, and making the potential client call you or fill out a form, that's key. Something you can do is a quick what's new. If it's a new product, a new service, something that you just think is very interesting within your vertical. You're an accountant, you're in construction, you're a restaurant. What's new, what's happening, that's what you can put right in here. Photo. Take photos, use your phone, make it very easy, and you can do this in minutes. And you can put a post a day, it really doesn't matter. couple posts a day. But using the app is going to be key, and can't stress that one enough because it's so easy to use and it's quick, right? And then you can also post an event. So if you do have something, Zoom meeting, some other, well, we can't gather right now, but if you had some other event that you're trying to get people to either donate to or use, you can use this. You have different dates that you can put in here. And then you also have other optional details. Oops, it was open already. And then also the button to drive traffic, right? So the whole point of this is using this as another social media avenue to drive traffic to a page, drive a traffic for someone to call now, to come by, to use your product, to buy more, right? Visibility, branding. So those are some key things that we need to do. So for Diane here, we're going to put a what's new, and we're going to add a post here. So this is a site that I use. There's a few others out there for creative assets. This is Spark by Adobe. This is a paid service, but there are, let's say, Canva or Infographic, some of these others where you can create your own graphics. Here, I've already created this. I'm just going to download this, and we're going to put that down there. And just upload this to show you how easy this is. Obviously, this is the desktop, and it goes a little faster when you go to come on. Where you go? Hold on one second. Usually goes quicker than that. Okay, there we go. There we go. There's that. So there's a photo that's uploading now. Okay, so there you go. And we're going to write the post. I've already written the post, and I use Grammarly. So Grammarly is, I use this every day. I use this for posts, no matter how good you spell or how well you formulate sentences and all of that. When you're doing posts, it's a different mindset where you break down what your thought process is into short snippets. And sometimes they don't make sense. So I always put them into Grammarly, gives me a little heads up going, oh, that's not what I meant, or it sounded a little funny as I dropped some of the sentences or try to combine some things. So here is, Grammarly, I've already written my content. It tells me it likes everything. So I just copy it from here, put it into my post right there. Now I have a button. I want to learn more and a link for the button. Come on, is right here. This is my link right there. Drop it in, already done. Want to preview it. So there's my new post. It looks good. I learned more buttons there, publish it, and within a few minutes, it should be there online. Okay, very easy, very simple to do. So, have any questions on this? Any types of posts? Any graphic questions? Anything there?
Richard, no, we do have a question from Sam Goodwin. He's asking, how often should a business post on Google My Business?
That's a great question. If you could do it every day, that would be great. That would be great. It is a lot of work to do that because you kind of have to plan a little bit on what you want to say either that month as a general topic, and then break it down every week, and then try and break it down every day. So if you could do once a week, 10 minutes from writing it, creating a graphic, and it doesn't have to be a fancy graphic like this. It could be just a stock photo, right, that has at least your logo on it, because we're talking about branding, right? And then a little blurb Just what are you trying to tell someone, right? But you also want to drive that traffic to call you or to fill out a form, right? Something to that effect, because it's all about business, right? But drive them to your website. But once a week, I think everyone can do this once a week. And the best open rates are Tuesday through Thursday is what I found. Anywhere between, usually mornings are the best that I've seen on this. Email's a little different. It differs from industry, but for this once a week, I would say Tuesdays would be a great time to do it. Tuesday at 9 a.m. Spend 10 minutes on it and do that. Does that help? Yeah. Okay, great. Great. Okay, so this is obviously very simple. And when you do something like this from the phone, very easy, very quick as well, right? So let's go through some of the other pieces. So the post, very simple to add your information, but the info about your business is crucial, right? It's crucial that it's logged correctly, the name's correct, the services that you provide are correct. So let's go through this real quick and see what has been done here. And you can see some of the stuff is under review. So in the last few days, we've done a lot of updates on this. So it takes a little bit for Google to just go and say, yeah, it sounds like the accounting services, that's an accountant, it's a payroll service, and bookkeeping, that sounds right. So, but it's taking some time for them to say, yes, that's correct. But that's good. It's also double check that you did put something in there correctly. But in here, so obviously this is an accounting services, right? So you can click on this pen and you can say, I'm an accountant, and it's going to come up with suggestions for each one of these, right? It's going to come up and try and put you into different categories, but you can keep adding. I can add a handful more, right? And there's a note down here at the bottom that says 3 days, up to 3 days. It's a little longer now, but that's okay, right? Then you just hit apply. Add them, apply. Very simple. This here is another section where this is more of a home service, right? This is an online. We don't want to publish a home address because we work out of our home. We actually work at a client's office or via Zoom, right? So I don't want people coming to, let's say, my house. So I'm going to put that I work as a geographic area, right? It can be North County, it can be San Diego County, it could be Southern California, or it could be California. The sky's the limit on how you want to break that up. So that's completely up to you. But if it's a home service and you do not have deliveries or a brick and mortar, this is the way to go. You don't need to publish it. You just need to verify who you are as a person when you sign up for a new Google My Business account, if that makes sense, right? They just want to know it's a real person, but it doesn't mean that you have to put your address in. And that's a little confusing at the beginning, but just rest assured. And here are the service areas, right? So very specific service areas for Diane. Valley Center, San Marcos, Escondido, right? So you can go directly down to city, or you can go county, you can go Southern Cal, or even US, if you know you can service, if you have a service that is a product, right? And you ship all across the US, you can put individual cities that you can deliver here, and then US. And that way it'll constrain it to showing up in those areas, right? This is one of the things here. The next one is the hours of operation. This is where you set your normal working hours, non-COVID, right? The COVID is on top of that. So that if, like I said before, if it's 9 to 5 and you have reduced hours, you're only doing, a 10 to 2, you can put the COVID hours on top of that, right? And it will not affect this or change this. So it's good to come in and set all of this correctly on a normal work week, and then add the COVID information on top of that. Okay, and this is exactly where it goes. So this is the placeholder for the COVID information, right? Special hours. Phone number. This is the phone number. If you change it, and we did an update to this, so that's why it's under review. We had a separate call forwarding number, right? That it's great to do because this actually is a cell phone, so it's better to have a call number, but the service that she was using before was not the right one, right? It just didn't have enough bells and whistles that we needed. So we changed it back to straight sell because the call flow is lower and we're able to handle it. But as it picks up, we're probably going to change it again to something else that we can at least divert traffic. If there are too many phone calls coming in, we can pick and choose which ones they are, and also drive certain ones to possibly fill out a form or send them a text, things like that we can do. Okay, so just keep that in mind too, is that this is a public facing number. Okay, just keep that in mind. Now here is something that's very interesting, where a lot of people I've seen that we've taken over these accounts is that they haven't put a short name in. And really what that is a short descriptor, just like a Facebook, right? You would have a business name and you have the @ symbol and that short name. This is the same thing, where Google has the G dot extension and a short name, so that you can send that off to your email. You can share it through social media where people know that they can go to Google My Business, and you can actually get reviews and look at your posts, right? If you have social media platform already, let's say Facebook, which is your number one, this is a great addition to it, because you can send this particular link over to Facebook and have them cross promote yourself essentially. One thing to think about is that when you're doing posts, when you're creating posts for the month, if you have a subject, make it easy for yourself, right? It's a subject, so let's say it was bookkeeping, like we're talking about. Have another aspect of bookkeeping in Google My Business as you post it versus Facebook. So now you have two different aspects of bookkeeping that they're not the same post, because it looks a little lazy at that point. But then this way you can cross promote yourself, and they look at you as an expert in that bookkeeping field or whichever vertical you're in, right? Because you have a variant looking at simple subject two different ways. And that's really going to give you some more credibility and make people will go, oh, wow, I did see that on Google My Business or Facebook and Google My Business, slightly different, similar topic. I like that. I think I'm going to call them, right? And then drive traffic to the website, or call now, phone number, special number, extension. So that way you can track who's calling from where, right? So that's a really good piece. So right here, you're able to change this, as you can see. It can be changed 3 times a year. I would suggest that you don't. You can, it's fine. If you do have a name change, if you are dropping the accounting and now you're doing CPA, that's fine. It's just that everything that you've shared before is going to change, right? It'll break. So just kind of think of that. But typically this is a branding piece, right? It's a short name branding piece that you can cross promote. Okay, we're going to leave that alone. That's good there. Right here we have website. Obviously very simple, very easy to understand. And make sure that this is working correctly, because it is public and people will click on it. One thing that you can do as well, as this one here has an appointment, which would be contact or booking an appointment or filling out a form. This, you could also drive traffic to a separate page, and it doesn't always have to be the home page. In SEO, I don't want to get too far into it, but in SEO, your homepage is going to be the number one searched or indexed in Google, right? All the other pages come secondary to that. But if we wanted to, we could say, hey, we could do slash Google My Business or /service that we really want to focus on. It'll drive traffic to that page. And in your analytics, you'll see that your secondary page, whichever one this is pointing to, will start getting qualified hits through the social media channels that you can start tracking. Because when you pass out your business card, you're going to say, here's your website, and everyone's going to go to the homepage. They may not go 2 or 3 steps into your site. They may go to the homepage, see your service, and then your contact. But what about the other pages in between? This is a good way to get some visibility on that with a simple post, simple information, drive traffic here, and you can change this once a month. You can change it more, but I don't want you to get flagged for anything, but you can just say, hey, I want to focus on this month. Great, let's change it. Let's focus on that. Little simple things that can be done to drive some traffic to your site and warrant a call. And then bottom line, appointment link, obviously we can do the same thing, just another link, just another page on your site. Or if you have a particular booking like a spa or those types of businesses that have appointments that you have to set first, you can drive it to that particular appointment system. Doesn't have to be your site, it can be any URL that books for you, right? So you can put that here. So that's good to use. Products and services, products here. Now, here is a great piece. Now, as an accountant, she doesn't have per se products, but this is a package that we put together. So think of different ways to fill up this entire profile. Think of ways that you can say, yeah, you know what, consulting hours, I can do that. This is what this is basically. For 2 hours, QuickBook training, $149. She will look at your books, set up your cash flow, set up a process for you to be consistent about your books, where to put certain expenses and all of that. So she will come out, well, now it's Zoom, but she would work with you for 2 hours to do that because of her expertise. Then you can say, book it. Okay, so that shows up on the front page and go, oh, wow, she has training. That's great. And it's also good for Google SEO when people are searching for, Escondido accounting, or they actually see her card, it's Diane Hagan Accounting. They'll see the Google My Business box come up and see QuickBooks. And that's a good keyword for that. So these are little things that you can do on your own and just start thinking about what are people searching for. Okay. So that is another piece. Let's go back over here. Products. Okay. So any questions on the info section? There's a lot to it, but if you really go through it, it's self-explanatory. Oh, I missed a couple pieces here. Services. This is a key one here too. The services, the more that you can add in here, the better for you. So not everyone thinks of accounts payable as accounts payable, so you can put a variation in here, right? If we're a small business and we don't really have that much, yes, that's the proper term, but there's also a variance of that. Put them in here, right? So that way, when someone is searching for you, they look at a familiar term, they understand that term. It may not be industry standard, but that's something that they will gravitate towards, right? So it sounds good, and it also is a good way to increase the SEO for this particular page and the searchability, because you really want this Google My Business page that you have created to rise up to the top when people are searching for, let's say, Escondido accountant or Oceanside remodels, right? Those are things that are simple things that people are searching for, but we want you to come up in those. So the more that you can put those types of terms in, that's really going to help you in the long run, right? Things that can be done. Let me go back to the info page here because there's a lot of toggles here. Okay, all the services, talked about that. Accessibilities, amenities, all of these. Let's just look at this real quick. I know that we're coming up to the end here. This is good to put in for brick and mortar. Also amenities, other highlights. These are great things to put in because people really gravitate to that in terms of marketing or consumer-based, putting the consumer hat on. Yes, I'd like to work with a woman-led firm or company that does X, Y, and Z. And these are things that have been added just recently. And as you think about how your business is run and what you offer and all of these other business opportunities, this is a great to add to it because it will help with the algorithms in Google to really focus on your site and push it up above somebody else's. Okay. And down here, this one is one of the crucial pieces, is describing your company. And I know sometimes it's hard, and sometimes you can't do it in 2 or 3 lines, short paragraph, but it's good to do a quick, almost enhanced elevator type speech, right? My company focuses on X, Y, Z in this geographic area, and we tailor to this type of clientele. Very simple. 3 questions. It should be easy to read. A lot of companies, I mean, a lot of customers don't read anymore. That's where the posts come in with a nice graphic and a quick little blurb, so they understand quickly what you do, and yes, this is the right company for me, right? So these are a couple little things that you should do, and you can update this all the time. If something changes or you want to add to it, that's fine, but get something in there so that we're not wasting the 2 to 6 days that Google's thinking about reviewing your site. Let's get it in there so that when it is reviewed, it's already up and it's already starting to be indexed in Google, right? So that the algorithms go, oh, this is a valid business. They've done a lot of updates. Looks like they're ready to go. So let's make sure that we don't waste any more time and wait, I'll do it tomorrow. Next thing you know, it's gonna be a week from now. So let's just go ahead and do it. Give yourself the half an hour, fill all this out, make sure it's right, and submit it. And then just wait and then start working on your next post. Say, okay, well, I did this week 1, I updated my entire business info section. Great. I don't have any posts yet, but next week I'm going to do my first post, and then the week after that, I'm going to do another one. Think about it all at once. If you write 4 posts right now and say, I want to do 1 a week, the other 3 posts are already read. They're already done, right? They're already created. All you do is copy and paste them in what is that, 3 minutes versus 15 maybe? So just trying to be proactive with it and just organize the time that this is something that you can do fairly quickly, right? So description, you can add opening date. Let's go through a couple of photos. That's really, really key. And we have just a few minutes. I want to keep it open for a couple of questions. Let's do photos and then reviews, and then we can take some questions. So photos, cover images, make sure you have your logo in here. These things are showing up as you can go back here. See, this is what's showing up, right? And since her account is under review, I've changed this already, and I'm still waiting for them to review all these other changes because we created a lot of changes to it, right? But this is a key thing. See what happens if there's an image here. So we need to make sure that the image, the right image shows up here. As you can see for Silver Lining, they're a team-oriented, customer-based company where that looks inviting to me. That sounds like I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom to find out what they do, right? Especially if they come up in the search, right? So down here, so imagery, that's great. Put all the information in. You can put all this information, logos, all of that. Any questions on that? I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Imagery that's pertinent to your company. Also, if you can do little graphics, that's great. If not, definitely let us know. I'll give you a little hint at the end here where I can help you guys out with that. Reviews. Let's jump into this, and I know we have a few minutes, but so reviews. As we know, in Google, let's say Silver Lining, let's go back, you can see reviews. People always look for reviews, right? And how long it's been since they had their latest one, right? So this is a week ago, 5 stars a week, 5 stars a week ago. That's awesome, okay? Great, next one, 7 months ago, 5 stars. Okay, well, you're doing great. See, there's a response from the owner, right? Thank you so much for taking the time to review the experience, right? That's exactly what we want to do. And she's been really proactive with this throughout her being a client with us for a couple of years now. And this has been great. So this has worked out. She acknowledges that there are the 5, and if there happens to be anything less than that, she is completely on top of getting to the bottom of it and finding out why. Okay, so in the review section, here are all of the reviews, the ones that you've actually replied to, right? The ones that you haven't replied to. And what I would suggest is if you get one, no matter what it is, reply immediately. If it's a 1 star, please say, I'm sorry for your inconvenience. Please call me to follow the flow of why you're why it was unsatisfactory. Something that you're actually being proactive with that shows a lot of credibility when someone's looking at, oh, they have a 1 star. What happened? Oh, they actually responded. Like for instance, Diane has one person that gave her a 1, but that's not even, it's the wrong Diane Hagen. It's not even for accounting, it's for somebody else. So I'm working with Google to see what we can do about that because it's mistaken identity. So, but even if you do have a less than a 5, please respond back. It's really going to help out. And they may change their review, okay, based on your conversation with them. So here you can do a quick overview of all of these reviews that have come through, and you can respond right from here. On the app, it will give you a notification that you have a review, and you can respond right on your phone. Easy, very easy, okay? So that's what I'd highly recommend that. Some of these others, there is a website feature in here, which is okay if you don't have one and you're really on a budget. We're not going to go into that, but there is an option to create a website for you. Google also allows you to go through Google domains and buy a domain right through them, and it's all encased in Google. And then the next step, they're going to ask you to buy Google G Suite, which goes down a whole nother discussion point. But if you really need something that's maybe a 1-pager, something quick and easy, this would be fine. Once you get to that next level, definitely we need to chat on what your lead generation requirements are, what you need to discuss with clients and show them in services on all of those things. So that's kind of a quick, it's an hour long, but there's a lot to it. But really what I want to kind of leave with is that this is doable. This, from start to finish, once the profile is set up, that takes a little bit. But once you have a profile created and you sit down and just update your information, an hour, you would have a post and all of your information in there correct. Because most likely you have a logo. You know what you can say for your first post, like introductory, and all your information you have, right? A little bit about COVID. It helps you out with the information, telling everyone that you are open, right? Yes, we are open. And here are the precautions we're taking. So I think everyone can do that, and at minimum, 1 post a week. And that's really going to help your business out. Emerald?
All right. Well, if you want to go ahead and do your stop share.
Okay, stop share.
Well, thank you for that, Richard. We'll go ahead and open it up. If anyone has any questions, we have a comment from Mary Beth in the chat. She said, great presentation. Thank you for all your knowledge and time. So thank you for that, Richard.
Great. Let me see. Sorry about the stop share. Hold on a second. Share. It's not stopping. Can you take over?
Yeah, so I did stop your share.
Oh, you did? Okay, good. All right.
Yep, we've got our windows back up here.
Okay, great.
Yeah, just wanted to leave a couple minutes here. If you guys have questions, you can submit those here in the chat. And for those of you that joined us a little later in the call, just a friendly reminder, we are sharing the chat box after the event. So go ahead and drop your contact info there. Drop your name, your business, and then a good email or contact phone for you. We'll leave that open for just a couple more minutes and see if anyone has any questions for Richard. But yeah, that was a jam-packed presentation, Richard. Thank you.
Sorry, everybody. There is a lot to it, but being new to it, it seems like a lot. But realistically, it can be done. Just put an hour in, and you'll be able to get through a lot of it. Obviously, I'm here if you have any questions regarding that. Any of the website, if you have problems with your website, if you need some enhancements, let me know. I can definitely help. I also have a link here. That's okay to send to everyone. Emerald?
Yeah, absolutely.
The GMB? Okay. So here is a link for everyone to look at. And as you notice that I did a graphic for the accounting client. And I'm willing to create free graphics for the top 5 or the first 5 companies that fill out the form and say, I want my graphic. And this is only to the people that are on this call. And I'll put your information in, your phone number, so I can call you back, or email, and we can converse in there what you need, and I can generate a graphic for you to your first post, or if you want to promote something, send me your logo and what you think, and I'll generate one just to help you guys out, because this is important for me, and it's a important piece that I think is missing in a lot of businesses. That's kind of underutilized. And a fun fact for the potentially another advanced round of Google My Business would be, once you have your Google My Business page 100%, everything looks great, everything's working, you're gaining customers, let's go ahead and add it to Bing. And there's a couple of tips and tricks that we can add it to Bing, which is another search engine using Yahoo that can also drive another percentage of eyeballs to your site and your products. So that's another piece that's underutilized.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Richard. Before we go, for those of you that have your cameras on, just a quick show of hands out of curiosity. How many of you guys have gone through the steps to go and claim your Google listing on the sidebar there that Richard is talking about? I see some thumbs up, some maybe.
Great.
Okay, so the reason I ask, for those of you that don't have that claimed, Richard and I can help you guys with that. Richard, of course, is your expert in all things SEO in that realm. Where I can help you, if you're a chamber member, we do have an expedited link to do that verification process. So as Richard said in the beginning, that can take a few days. I believe it's a postcard in the mail. You have to verify your code and make sure that matches up. So in lieu of that, we have just an expedited link that you can use instead. So it'll save you a lot of time and also mitigate the amount of mail that you're touching, just as we're trying to social distance. So whatever we can do, just to help you guys out and make your lives easier so you can get back to running your businesses would be great. So with that, we'll go ahead and end the call here. Like I said, we will convert this recording and we'll make that available to you guys after the fact. If you went and put your contact info in the chat, or you're a chamber member, we'll go ahead and share your contact info with the group and with Richard as well, so he can follow up with you. But I'd highly encourage you guys to click through his link and check out his services and see how he can help your business. But thank you all for your time this morning.
Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.